rising Venus signs and cross watchers. Welcome to your 8-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this full moon in Libra to new moon, void of course, then Taurus, April 2023. I am your reader, fellow Pisces moon, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, almost 25 years in service, come May 1st at Beltane. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. There's a Kindle version of it available. You can click the link in the description box. Check it out. Catch a little whiff of some of the practices, prayers, and principles that have kept me going these 25 years plus as a professional witch and all of that jazz. And while you're down there, do check out my Patreon. mypatreon.com/drawing the circle is probably my favorite thing on earth right now. We have 8 levels of subscribers over on Patreon. We've got Seeker, Human, Hero, Angel, Witch, Immortal, Mystic, and God Goddess is the top tier. They get everything available on the platform, but all of my subscribers get a couple of things in common. For example, all the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. They're all relationship stuff based, and they are juggernauts. Some of them run about an hour. They get all of them, past, present, and future, no matter what level they subscribe at the time of this recording. They also get what's called a daily check-in. Unlisted YouTube live stream link, so they chat with me every morning, me sitting on the couch, cup of coffee, talking about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications. Always a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something, something to send us on our way, and it's my favorite way to start the day, and we're building a lovely community over there, and it just keeps getting bigger and better, so I'm really into it. So if you want a deeper dive, Pisces, or cross watchers, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal. I really love it. Check the menu, see what's on there, and come Patreon on Patreon, because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you call me Mal. Hey, my fish family. Mer people. Woo, saved the best for last. Just did quite an intense meditation. Considering the day I'm doing this on, it's necessary. Let's dive in. If you are new to the channel, let's do some explanation before we get to divination. An 8-card draw just means 1 card from 8 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about really anything, but we are going to be using it for a 2-week period, a waning moon from full to new in April 2023, to help you do the shadow work, the releasing, the surrendering. The alchemy is my preferred language of it all. 3 atoms in between lead, which is toxic, and gold, which is healing. On the periodic table, those 3 atoms cannot be created or destroyed, only changed, transformed, or in our case, released, which brings relief over a 2-week period. There are chakras involved. There's some oracles on the table to fill in some blanks. So let's look at the timeline, because it's a little tricky this time. We do have the full moon on April 6th. That is a Thursday, 1:34 a.m., which I love. 12:34 a.m. Eastern. I am in New York. So, you know, a full moon in Libra on a Thursday. I'm going to ladies' night that night. A bunch of my girlfriends, we're going to, like, totally do something that's going to be fun. No, I wouldn't call it a coven meeting, but, you know, we're going to hang out, have a cocktail, and, you know, maybe a fire pit. This should be fun. Right, very air magic Thursday, a day of expansion and prosperity and abundance and all that, Jupiter. So have at it. And when the moon rides at her peak, then ye heart's desire seek. And that's why I do the 5-card draws for the waxing moon, because then we got 2 weeks of letting go, of releasing, of doing the alchemy and the shadow work. And there's a lot of videos in the description box down there talking about shadow work and the mirroring process and all that stuff. Forever young, Carl. 2 weeks later, here's the tricky one. A new moon, it is an eclipse on Thursday, April 20th, which is 420. Wow, I did math. But it goes void, of course, on 420. Why wouldn't it? It goes void, of course, the same moment it goes new and eclipses. It will go into Taurus at 12:30 a.m. Again, this is Eastern. You're probably not going to be awake for this. I probably won't be. But the sun then goes into Taurus at 4:14 a.m. So figure I'll wake up early, cast a little something, and of course I will have the 5-card draw, plant a seed, watch it grow, waxing reads done before then. And just in between to mention, because this might affect Pisces, on the 11th of April, Venus is going into Gemini, and that would square a Pisces sun, moon, rising, or Venus. So just to be aware of it, squares can be challenging and tricky. And we're fish. We can go with the flow if we know what's coming somewhat. So let's get down to this gig. 7 cards are about to hit the table. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I will do the best that I can to help you move to a more golden timeline. Infinite number of quantum timelines. Every choice, every decision we make switches us off to a new one. So to go for healthier rather than toxic. To go for truth rather than illusion. Love rather than fear. I think you get the gig. Cool? So the shift from explanation, which I got to do every time, and I'm glad to do it for new people, to the divination, which, darlings, I was born on a full moon. I'm a Virgo sun and a Pisces moon. I was born to do this. That lovely shift happens in what I call the still point. It's a 2-word magic spell that I highly recommend. My guides gave it to me. Ready? See if you can catch it. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's have fun. If possible, for a shadow read. Still point. And here we go. Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards. Ooh. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Pisces collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers, because crosswatchers can walk away with this with some understanding and some sympathy and some empathy. For the Pisces, they are cross-watching for, but they could also apply some of this to their chakric field, and chakras involved and all that. A mantra, an affirmation here or there perhaps, a hidden blessing that they can work for, which would not just help them do the shadow work, their own personal alchemy, but it would greatly help the Pisces they're cross-watching for, as well as the entire collective, including myself. So please, beloved ones, what is the dominant archetype in the 8th chakra hovering over the head of the Pisces collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers, indicating the alchemy. From shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love, illusion to truth, this full to new. The networker archetype. All right. Well, that's interesting, considering Pisces, 12th house, is the collective unconscious. Not just the subconscious, the collective unconscious. Forever young. Look, it's a creative family archetype. So this can take on, I think, a little bit of a different meaning for a Pisces, but let's look at it. 9 different families, groups, categories. Creativity. This involves your creativity. The shadow attribute written on the bottom indicates the lead. The light attribute, the gold. The shadow of, and you know this, gee, and if we see this on Earth, if we see this playing out in the world, we can clean this up within ourselves. The lead conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. Let's just move on. To the light attribute here, the gold we're shooting for enhances unity, which is taking a break for a second. Unity is the truth. There's only one of us incarnate. There's only one soul. Everybody's Bob Marley, one love, one heart, right? Until shit gets tricky, right? So enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. And that is a water sign word, let alone a Pisces word. We are the empaths of the zodiac, the elders. And I'll tell you something, vibrational empathy, emotional empathy, feeling other people's stuff in your own cell tissue, that's a certainly a superpower. It really seriously is. It is a way of healing this world because we are connected to the collective unconscious. We're all part of it, obviously, but what we heal within us vibrationally, even a little bit, shifts us all to a more golden timeline. And everybody has free will in that. So will we delay what cannot be prevented in our very own soul contracts, our own alchemy? Because how many times do you want to keep reincarnating just to do this? there are other places to go. It's another conversation. So, here Uranus is lovely this time of year. I'm sorry, I can never avoid that stupid ass joke. Let's look at the next 4 chakras down: the internal, the feminine, the yin-ternal, the psychological world, the creative, intuition, heart, third eye crown, using the daughters of the moon tarot to represent the goddess energy. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's see how we network in. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of water, the sign of Pisces, powers of the West, please, beloved goddesses of mutable water, depth and intuition, the collective unconscious, sort of like the river Styx, getting into the underworld there, that element of water, that intuition, that unity, that we can feel it. Maybe we'll always say it, but we can feel it. So what do we need to be aware of? Heart, third eye crown, internal, yin-ternal, throat chakra minimum, our choice, our decision to delay or prevent. But what do we need to know to alchemize the networker in the 8th, this full 2 new? And we've got the universe, Shakti, the life dancer, the world card. Excellent. Now, Shakti, I would highly recommend doing a Google search, because that word means different things. I mean, Sanskrit, one word can have all these different meanings, but there's the goddess Shakti here. There is Shakti energy, Shakti pot. I mean, it could go on and on and on, right? So find what clicks for you inside, because when it's a major arcana card in a chakric zone in an 8-card draw, it's all of those chakras at once. You're at the end of a cycle. You've completed something. Congratulations. You are the winner. Winner, chicken dinner, unless you're vegan, then whatever. Or vegetarian. Look, with the networker inside, definitely. With this over it, like affecting this, shifting what you attract and what you repel, you crossed a finish line. You graduated. You completed a cycle inside of yourself, and that feels really good. Like, I would tell you, well, let's see what else hits the table. Let's look at the outside stuff. The lower 3 chakras, the masculine energy, outside looking in at us, or inside looking out at other people, places, and things. Because lower 3 chakras are relationships in the physical world in all different sorts of ways, including our relationship to ourselves, our self-esteem, which is a verb, not a noun, interestingly enough. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Pisces, powers of the West, please, beloved gods of mutable water, of depth, of intuition, and all of that, please, 1 card in clarity for the Pisces collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video and drawn to this reading. What's going on inside out, outside in, lower 3 chakra, masculine yang dynamic to help us alchemize the networker in the 8th with the universe, the world, Shakti, the life dancer, on the inner, this full to new. The Hermit card. Same thing, major arcana, all 3, soft of eye and light of touch. Speaky little. Listen much. Ooh, and listen on the inside, pull back. Unless you are dealing with someone who is in hermitage. Of course, it is a general read. But we are looking at, they always save the best for last, Pisces. I know it takes me a while to get here, but I get here, we get here. This is incredibly powerful. So how interesting for a networker to be in hermit mode. Ooh, soft of eye and light of touch, speaking little, listen much. Big time. Not everything we're hearing is absolute truth, right? The only absolute truth is that we are all one, and this world is a freaking video game. Okay, that's an interpretation of the truth. Perhaps I doubt the ancients had that terminology back then, back in the Vedics and all of that. But there's always been that mystical truth, right? And, horrible things happen to those in the history who've stood on that principle, as you know. Oh, just burn us up, whatever. But we keep coming back, if you've noticed. So interesting. Surf them timelines. Woo! Just don't believe everything you read or hear. Run it through your intuitive system. The Hermit isn't just about going in. It's about going in and going up. right? Seeing it from the higher perspective. And actually, mythic tarot, this is the god Cronus, father of the Olympians, a titan, swallowed his kids, didn't go well. They locked him down in Tartarus. They did release him eventually. You know, the gods, it's family. It's family. What are you going to do, right? So it's the god of time, Chronos, chronologist, right? A chronometer, like a watch, right? Or a clock. So there's time here. There's definitely a feeling of time here in the physical world. And thank you, Doreen Valiente. Okay, let's remove some obstacles. Those 3 atoms in between lead and gold for the networker here. With the whispers of Lord Ganesh. Ganesh is a hint. Oh, Ganesh and Shakti, they know each other. Very, very close, I think, if I remember correctly. Ganesha is the Hindu god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles. Always, I've never seen him depicted any other way than the head of an elephant, and he's wonderful. I've cultivated a relationship with Ganesh since I started with the Ashaya monks back in 1998. Woo, please take a nice deep breath. He's delightful. Still point. And here we go. I call to the beloved Lord Ganesh, God of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, of great compassion, joy, and fun, by the way. Please, beloved one card in clarity, have mercy on the Pisces collective. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. What is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom? Your oracle message to help us alchemize the networker in the 8th, Shakti the life dancer. We got the goods done on the inside. We're Hermit on the outer. We may not be talking about it, and that's good for a Pisces, right? We can swim under the water. We don't have to let everybody know our dorsal fin is there. What do you got for us, please, beloved one, to help us remove these obstacles, this full to new? Childlike expression, and bingo was his name. Oh yeah, I guess I'm feeling that innocence, right? The childlike expression. Oh, by the way, this card is adorable. Oh, it's baby Ganesh with like a Marcel wave killer. I love it. He's a lot of fun. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and neither do I take myself too seriously, particularly card number 12, childlike expression. I mean, the child archetype in and of itself, everybody has the child archetype, and it is about innocence and safety. So let's see what Angela Hartfield, Whispers of Lord Ganesh, well-written book, and breathe this in. I think we're going to have an easier time of this than we think. Ready? Card number 12, childlike expression. In truth, within every soul exists an aspect known as the inner child. Now, let's just pause that for a second. Pisces is the elder, but you're at the end of the cycle. We're at the end of the cycle on the inside, so we're moving in. In other words, the inner child makes sense from elder to child again, a cycle. You can champion your inner child's emotional life by listening carefully to what you need and want in your own heart. Because you can actually talk to your heart chakra, and it is, I would think, technically and vibrationally inner child work. Yeah. You may have been taught to give up your own desires for the sake of others. Mm-hmm. This is not necessary. Ganesh is bringing the guidance that not acknowledging your desires and needs takes away from your life force and defeats your spirit. As a child, you were a sensory expert. You ain't kidding. It is now time to re-stimulate your inner child's ability to look, listen, touch, and explore the world in order to reconnect with your emotions. Wow. Practice trusting your inner knowing or senses. Give your inner child love and a voice. Express your true feelings. Connect deeply to yourself on an emotional level by allowing all of your uncomfortable feelings to reach to the surface of your awareness and be seen and experienced. Let's stick a pin in that. With the Hermit, that's absolutely an internal process, saying we ain't sharing that But networker doesn't mean we won't in some way. In a way to engender unity and empathy? Do you see where this is headed? This is kind of cool. And to do it with that childlike innocence, I think is amazing. Find patience and joy in simple things. Take a step away from acquiring material things and take pleasure in the wisdom of your own soul. Love, respect, and honor your inner child. Allow time for play in whatever mode that pleases you, be it socializing, singing, yoga, travel, taking a walk, dancing, meditating, or writing. This is how your inner child operates. It knows no boundaries, holds no expectations, and loves unconditionally. Well, that would be obviously the gold side. The alchemy of the child archetype, though, is not on the table archetypally. The networker is. Everybody's got the child archetype and all them sub-archetypes in there. The wounded child, the orphan child, the magical child, the divine child, the nature child, and on and on and on and on and on. The fishy child, the mer child. Let's make one. It's there. We just made an archetype. Carl Jung just went, okay. Let's move on. What a great way to remove those obstacles. It can be very emotional, though. I mean, inner child work ain't no joke. It was made a joke of for a while, but it's one of the more direct and I would say innocent forms of shadow work available. So let's get a healing mantra from the Metcon healing mantra deck, right? Because the Hermit, why not give the Hermit something to chew on while they're in there? The Metcon healing mantra deck, these work if you work them. And I write all mine down and I use them for the 2-week periods, waxing or waning. And in the other reads too, actually. Please take a nice deep breath. Because we're all one. Still point. I call to the ascended masters of creation and creativity from whatever this networker archetype is about for us, as well as to just creating our own reality and how quickly we can shift our own emotional reality when we're at the end of a cycle. We look back and we can see things differently and maybe see things from a childlike point of view. Childlike, not childish. More Dalai Lama than Pee Wee Herman, although I love me some Pee Wee. What is the perfect healing mantra to help the Pisces collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Suns, and Cross-Watchers alchemize, networker in the 8th, Shakti on the inner, Hermit on the outer, with childlike expression, removing obstacles. This full to new, invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. It's a breathwork reading with inner child work is helpful, and I know we got this one. Yeah, Virgo. Yeah, I got it both sides. All right, I got it. Sun and Moon. That's helpful. Only one mantra to remember. I'm going to read it from the Bookie Book because the Bookie Book is amazing. Matt Kahn is truly a spiritual genius. I believe he's a Pisces, if I remember correctly. Bless his heart. Bless his all for love heart. Not so into the kale and the sweater vest, but, you know, what would life be if we were all exactly like him? He feels like a little brother. I don't know why. Great. Past life bleed-throughs in the middle of a reading. Well, it is a Pisces read. Shall we? Why can I not find this mantra? There we go. Invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. I was doing this one this morning. Self-realization is a spontaneous remembrance of your interconnection to all that is. You are willing to embrace your individuality as a unique expression of source in physical form. By aligning with the breath, you see that while you appear to be a person, it is the universe that breathes everything into existence. If that's not mystical, I don't know what is. But to go in and have that experience inside and not talk about it on the outside, really to see this thing from that innocence just through breath work. Now, I highly recommend the Wim Hof method. If you add Ho'oponopono to it, I call it the Wim Ho. There's all sorts of stuff. Box breathing. There's so many apps to do breath work. From the simple and the gentle to the rather rigorous, like, you know, that fire breath through the nose and all that. It's kind of fun. This mantra is ideal for reducing stress, managing pain, and relaxing the nervous system. right? Like taking care of the baby. It's like, it's okay, baby. Because an inflamed nervous system is when the ego possesses us, and we are more childish than childlike. You know, maybe we're pulling back a little bit, you know, throwing up maybe a little Virgo vibe there. Nope. Nope-see, dope-see. Or like I said, you might be dealing with somebody like that, or this might be a phase that we all go through sooner or later. Okay, moving on. Let's ground this with the Divine Animals Oracle. Everybody has spirit animals and totems. And they, you know, think about this. The more you shift to a golden timeline, how's that going to affect ecology? How is that going to affect the welfare of the aminals, right? Probably a lot. Because we know we're one with them on a more visceral level in that kind of timeline. So, let's ask them what help they have for us to shift this world to a better place for all of life. Please take a nice deep breath. There's a lot of power in Pisces. Freaking superheroes. Talk to fish, maybe? Still point. Oh, Momoa. Still point. Call upon the spirit animals and totems. If we get the hyena, I will fall off the chair. I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Pisces collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, drawn to this reading, who walks with us, who swims with us, who flies with us, who crawls with us, giving us the guidance, the grace, the wisdom, the power, the protection, the support, and the oracle message to help us alchemize. Networker in the 8th, universe on the inner, the world, Shakti on the inner, hermit on the outer, Chronos, childlike expression, removing obstacles and invoking self-realization, our breath confirming how spiritually awake we already are. This full to new, the gorilla. It's a gorilla. Oh. They've got a gorilla for sale. A Megillah gorilla for sale. Why don't you try him? Why don't you buy him, take him home and try him? It's card number 1, and the keyword is peace. But that's a powerful piece. P-E-A-C. I'm sure it has a powerful piece too. But let's keep moving on. And we're walking. Card number 1, gorilla. The Latin name is gorilla. I'm not even kidding. Oh, Mr. Peebles, we knew you well. To seek or negotiate for peace is a position of strength, not weakness. Choose peace rather than war. Strong leaders lead by example. The greatest kind of strength involves restraint. Don't judge a book by its cover. Oh, hermit. You see, this is like a power read for us. The magic. Everyone has heard of King Kong. Who? Come on. I saw it on Broadway. It was 20 minutes just staring at that thing. Everyone has heard of King Kong, so perhaps the idea of guerrilla magic inciting peace and sociability may be shocking. Well, it depends, I guess, if they're in the mist or not. We know of the huge physical strength of gorillas, yet this power is used with incredible restraint. When you need to exercise the same restraint, or you need to be the peacemaker in a situation, call in guerrilla magic to exist. And that's the thing. You don't have to do that on a geopolitical stage, right? You can be that neighbor. You know, howdy neighbor. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Oh, I'm not wearing the cardigan. Choices. Look, the gorilla is that was for very one specific Pisces, and I hope she's just peeing herself in her office right now. Look, the peace that be the peace you seek to be in the world. Gandhi. I mean, it's not a new concept, not to mention every winner of a pageant, regardless, has asked and wants world peace. Miss Congeniality. Oh my God. Invoking self-realization. We can actually tilt the balance on this, like I said, when you are feeling warlike, right? Because gorillas are not always necessarily pacifists, right? They will stand up, protect, and defend, just like any other papa, mama aminal would, for sure, right? Protect the tribe and all of that. But with the tribalism going on the planet and the networking that's going on the planet, yikes, right? So we have an ability to come here from a more innocent place. And if the child in your heart does not feel safe, that is something that you can do. Stand in your power for peace, at least within yourself. Start there and do the breath work. And you'll realize a lot of these energies that you're feeling ain't just you. You could be empathing anyone. I ask myself, how many people are feeling this on the planet right now? And they'll usually give me something in the billions, right? We got like, what, 7.8 billion people on the planet right now tapping into it. You're taking it personally, right? Don Miguel Ruiz is like, told you not to, but, do your best. Be impeccable with your word and don't take it so damn personally. Make no assumptions. So this is very, very, very powerful, and not just for us, it feels like for all of life. So let's ground it a little further with the newest member of the Joining the Circle divinatory team, staff, Cabal, the Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy, that's CHERALYNDARCY, the author, the illustrator by Deer Dandy, DEER. Both this and the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacey DeMarco are from Rockpool Publishing. Their books are extremely well written, but not overwrought. Like, it doesn't make your brain want to fold in half. So I've dedicated this deck to my beloved Archangel Ariel, and if you listen to the prayer, you might know why she's my Archangel. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to my beloved Archangel Ariel, Archangel of Nature, one of the archangels of the North powers of Earth, the Archangel of Wealth, and yes, of course, nature, animal, vegetable, and mineral, as well as the Archangel of Lyons, upon which I was named. My parents had no idea what they were signing up for, and apparently neither did I. Please, one card in clarity, my beloved Archangel of Lyons for the Pisces Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Signs, and Cross Watchers watching this video, drawn to this reading. What is the Herbal Oracle message? Whether we have the herb or not, whether we need the herb or not. It's 420. Please, what is your guidance, your grace, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message for us to alchemize networker in the eighth? Shakti on the inner, hermit on the outer, childlike expression, invoking self-realization with peace of the gorilla. This, oh my God, this full to new. My prayer this morning was for the grace of endurance. The crone grace of endurance. It's in my book, Words of Grace. The third of the gateway graces. Grant me the grace of endurance, the crone grace, to endure with integrity, right? To endure with grace, gracefully endure, and to call upon a power, a love, a wisdom from beyond and above this world. Card number 8, ginseng. Uh-oh. Long relationship with ginseng. It's been, I don't really need it, but back in the day, right, working those long hours and metaphysical retail, little power boost, little echinacea tincture, little cornucopia. Card number 18, endurance, ginseng. Oracle meanings, keep going and do not give up. I don't plan to. You may find that a new path is opening before you, which would make sense if we've completed something on the inner. But it will seem very long and perhaps even more challenging than you would like. You're being asked to take a bit of a leap of faith with something, but the outcome will be in your favor. Believe in yourself and your abilities, because doubt is the only thing that's holding you back, and possibilities because doubt is the only thing that is holding plans and possibilities back. You may find additional study, information gathering, or education in any form will improve your situation. Most importantly, a commitment must be made. Well, if that's a commitment to peace because you're invoking self-realization by getting that we're all one, and you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't talk about it. I'd do it by example. Do it by example, right? Be at peace. Now, 24/7, 365. I don't know who gets that, except again maybe the Dalai Lama. It's his gig. Not the only one on planet Earth, I'm sure. But you know, I guess if you live in a temple, in an ashram, in a hermit cave or something, right? Well, a hermit cave is very Pisces in this sense. A little bit easier. You don't have Wi-Fi, right? If you're not watching what's going on in the world, or just dealing with people in general. I say to people all the time, oh, planet Earth's not the problem. I love Gaia. It's the people. But as an empath, that's a salty sense of humor, but mostly true. So to endure this, you know, Matt Kahn even says, all you got to do is live through it. Right? All you got to do is endure this. We're immortal beings that came in one of the most challenging and amazing times on planet Earth. Amazing, like being in a maze, granted, because that's the gig. And, you know, we've been other places, we'll go other places, and we've been on this planet for an awful long time. So let's see, what's the hidden blessing from the Blessed Bee by Lucy Cavendish. I've not said her name now in a long time, it needed to come out. Ooh, past life bleed through. The Blessed Bee to show us the gold hidden within the lead, the hidden blessing. Should we do the shadow work, what's required of us? And remember, this ain't just about us. This is about peace on earth via endurance. We got this. We're the oldest sign in the zodiac. Please take a nice deep breath. This should be a hot one. Still point. I call to the pantheons of all pantheons. A delegation, please, from all traditions, lineages, and cultures for the Pisces Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Signs, and Cross-Watchers. Watching this video, drawn to this reading, what is the gold hidden within the lead? The blessing hidden in the timeline. Some light at the end of the tunnel to help us alchemize. The networker in the 8th. Shakti the life dancer on the inner, the world card. A completion. Hermit on the outer. Removing obstacles with childlike expression. Dealing with that inner child. Verbalizing our desires. And allowing that child to have those feelings of those desires. Invoking self-realization, our breath confirming how awake we already are in any given moment. And peace, establishing peace, calling upon that magic, that medicine of that strength of the gorilla, but with the restraint to really protect in peace, that with that endurance of that ginseng to keep us going. What do you got for us? The lead within the gold within the lead. This full to new, a blessing on forgiveness. There is no peace without forgiveness. The Course in Miracles, which is a book about alchemical quantum forgiveness, just they don't use those words. It is the alchemy in and of itself, the forgiveness, the shift from lead to gold, fear to love. And certainly a blessing of that, just know the ego can't forgive. It's that which is begging to be forgiven, it just doesn't know that. It's the soul that forgives instantly, and the personality is in between those two. And in between all of that, there is that inner child, right? That's in its process of development. So, by the way, The Course in Miracles, originally published by the Foundation for Inner Peace. I think this might be a thing. That's a nice way to say it. It's a thing. Yeah. Thank you, Ascended Master General, rather than Ascended Master Specific. Private Public, card number 31, I believe that is. And yes, it is. A blessing of forgiveness, and this one's a little long, so buckle up, figures. Last reading. I love my mer people. We do this blessing for real. At the end of it, the reading is over. We're going to talk about 25 years for drawing the circle at the end of this video. There are some changes being made, so I want to really commit myself to this prayer and this blessing for all of us and all of life. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheons of pantheons, please transmit. A blessing of forgiveness. A blessing to be able to be free of the burden of grudges and vengeance. A prayer to help you open up to the blessing that is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a tricky beast. And yes, For all it is a gentle word, it is a great beast, forgiveness. For when we seek to forgive, we must wrestle with the wrongdoing that lies at the heart of our resistance to let go of the pain we are holding on to. And Pisces, we are known for that shit. When we need to forgive, it is often that we are too raw, too far away from justice to be able to even touch the sides of the balm of forgiveness. Yet, staying angry for long periods of time can develop into a compacted bitterness. And bitterness is a gall to all who wish to live freely. It is a struggle to forgive when we are in the midst of a fallout of another person's actions. There is a great deal of victim blaming within our cultures, but in older times, in the Celtic world, there was restorative justice, and it would have gone a long way to forgiveness. In the Old Testament worldview, okay, we're going there. In the Old Testament worldview, which has influenced our legal systems and our cultural ways of addressing wrongs, punitive justice is the main form, and forgiveness comes about usually after a wrong is righted. But what can we do when the wrong is still very much alive, and to forgive another seems to be diminishing their harm and their potential to harm others? Justice and forgiveness must work hand in hand. And in this blessing, they will now begin to entwine. So that while you begin to forgive first yourself for whatever wrong was done to you, there is often an element of self-blame. There was once another way to restore what was taken through right action. And thus the path to forgiveness was free from vengeance. In numerous New Age philosophies, responsibility is apportioned to the individual who is suffering time and again. How do you like this? Is asked, and this is wrong and damaging and in some cases cruel and unethical. First know that whatever wrong was done to you, it's not your fault, and begin the work of forgiving yourself. May the blessing of this self-forgiveness be bestowed upon you now, dear friend. Know you will gently untangle the doubt and recriminations that have settled like thorns about your heart and invaded your mind's peace. Something may be going back to childhood, removing obstacles. And you, as you begin to forgive yourself, you will also begin to find forgiveness for the injustices you have endured. For in that forgiveness and acceptance, the ability to know exactly what wrongdoing was done, you will begin to return to yourself. You will be wiser, yet unpoisoned. Slowly, may the pain and the bitter buds wither, and in their place, may you be reborn. Honesty, able to remember, honestly able to remember, wiser, in order to prevent this event from ever taking place again, and able to recall without pain, and bringing back to you the threefold what was taken by another. May you be free of the pain at last. Let the anger burn down into coals from which you, phoenix-like, can arise. And know that you have forgiven the other for their dark gift, forgiven life, and most of all, delivered the pure medicine of forgiveness to yourself, and I will add to that, to all of life on planet Earth, when we all desperately need it. Blessed be. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be, and so it is, and that is a shadow read par excellence. Did it click? Did it work for you? Hit the thumbs up. Like, subscribe, notification bell, comment until, well, with the hermit, but with the networker, you do you. All that does is help other people find this rather important reading for shifting things to a better world on planet Earth, holographically through the Pisces vibe. So do that, help, because that was sort of off the scale. And then go check out my Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circle. A lot of cool stuff going on there. We got bigger things to talk about at the moment, but I'm not stopping on Patreon, and we got a lot of Pisces over there, and I love what's going on over there. But to simplify, 25 years in business drawing the circle productions as an S corporation. I've been charging $100 an hour for a private session, for spiritual counseling, for readings for 25 years, whether it was a party or a group, Zoom or otherwise. If I went over, it was on me. If they wanted to tip me, that was on them. That's changing. I'm doing sort of a Build-A-Bear kind of thing reading for May 1st, but there's a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal will explain everything that you need to know about booking a reading with me before, during, and after. It will be remade before May 1st when my prices change, and the Build-A-Bear, whatever we're going to call it, Build-A-Mal, whatever, we'll launch that then for Beltane. But certainly if you book me for something before May 1st, even if it's for after May 1st, I will honor the $100 price and be glad to do so. Otherwise, most importantly, I love you. Look, we have a superpower. We do. Empaths and all of this. The inner child work is not easy, but it's simple. It's just keep saying I love you and mean it to your own heart as you go. Matt Kahn's got stuff on there. Reach out. Tons of stuff in the description box. So hang in there. Heal. Be the peace that we need in this world and rise from those ashes, because you've completed something on the inner. Then when you're ready to share and network it. But do it by example. Wishing you the very best and the very best, my beloved Mer family. Mer, heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.